Hello, friends. Please welcome one of War Thunder's largest updates, Groundbreaking. It features a huge batch of new vehicles, several new types of weaponry, and improvements to the UI. But we'll start with something else entirely, an important new mechanic that we've been putting so much effort into. As you might have noticed in the teaser, the game will now have terrain shaping. Simply speaking, the landscape isn't going to stay the same anymore. Explosions created by shells and bombs will now leave craters that you can use as cover. And the larger the explosion, the bigger the hole. Oh, yes, I can already see the smile on the faces of PE-8 pilots. Moreover, some vehicles can now dig, including a few MBTs, the Centurion AVRE, and the Soviet BMP-3. In addition to regular combat capabilities, the vehicles with scoops can now create their own ditches and defilades to hide their vulnerable lower glacis or help protect a less armored ally. Here's the Chieftain holding a point on the Mozdok map with only its armored turret exposed. And here's the T-72. Its poor elevation angles are compensated with some digging. Meanwhile, this crater has become a snug shelter for a few tanks at once. Seems like the work of one huge bomb. Check our website for the full list of vehicles capable of equipping a scoop. The hangar screen now has a new feature to help you get a better look at the weak points of armored vehicles: the protection map. With it, you can study more than just the thickness of the individual pieces of armor, but also the vulnerability of certain areas. Look, here they are. See how vulnerable areas change with different angles? We're also continuously improving the graphics in the game. This update brings new fire and explosion effects for ground vehicles. You can even see the flame bursting out of a burning tank's barrel if its gun breech is open. Additionally, desert landscapes get an entirely new look, with sand and dust getting everywhere. And now, let's take a look at the new vehicles. We'd like to start with a couple of models that have a welcome twist to them. These are the very first vehicles arriving to War Thunder's newest in-game nation, Israel. The Israel Defense Forces Air Branch is now represented by the Spitfire Mark 9E fighter and the A-4E Skyhawk light attack aircraft. The latter is the non-naval version made specifically for the Israeli army. How about other nations? The British tech tree receives another guest from the hot South African Republic. Please welcome the Easter Fark, an anti-aircraft vehicle with 20mm cannon whose design is based on the very mobile APC. Our next new vehicle is the Mi-28NM attack helicopter. This new modification has radar, but the most important addition are the Chrysanthema guided missiles, the most powerful examples currently in the Soviet tech tree. This tiny, fast, and light armored weapons carrier in the German tree arrives in 3 variations. One with the 20mm autocannon, another with the TOW anti-tank missiles, and another with the ADWC missile system. The Chinese tech tree has something new too. The ZLT-11 is an 8-wheeled vehicle with a 105mm gun armed with APF-SDS rounds, proximity fuse, HE shells, and tandem ATGMs. Its maximum speed is no less than 100 kilometers per hour. There's another Brit, and this time she's naval. The new HMS Marlborough battleship boasts enormous firepower consisting of 10 343mm guns and a dozen 152mm ones. Among the many new aircraft additions, we'd like to mention the MiG-23 MLD with an improved wing and R-24 missiles, the MiG-21 bis, now available in the German tree, and the Swedish AJ-37, the assault version of the vegan fighter. Among the ground vehicles, we have the VCC-80, the Dardo's big brother with a new turret, the EBR 1951, and the Sprut SD-M1 with thermals for both the gunner and the commander. Moreover, the American seaports will be happy to see the Midshare-class destroyer. And that's not all. We've also got new maps for all battle types. Tankers will enjoy the Aral Sea. This natural reservoir has dried out and turned into a salty desert, with the rusty remains of old vessels littered around the landscape. Pilots will be able to fly around Bourbon Island. It's a real one, by the way, and it's full of twisting canyons, so good for hiding from enemy radar. And finally, Viborg, a naval map with dozens of tiny islands and bays, a great environment for quick and tiny boats. If you're still with us, here's a short description of the new weapon types we promised at the beginning. The new R-24R radar-guided missiles have an inertial navigation system, which means you don't have to lock them onto your target immediately, doing it later instead, increasing the range tremendously. Then we have the R-24T, all-aspect infrared homing missiles with a 10-kilometer target acquisition range. The Jaguar fighter bomber also receives some new suspended armament, AS-30L laser-guided missiles, and new 1,000-kilogram and 400-kilogram bombs, also with laser homing capabilities. To improve the accuracy of these weapons, the Jaguar can now equip the Atlas II targeting pod with a laser designator and auto tracker. The Jaguar GR-1 and the Corsair A7E have similar pods installed, by the way. Did we forget anything? Oh, right. Halloween is coming. Your hangars are already decorated with cute, evil jack-o'-lanterns. So, trick or treat! As usual, the full changelog is available on our official website. Subscribe to the channel, because I'm telling you to. Try out the new vehicles, because you want to. Fire the new weapons, because you feel dangerous. Build your fortifications, you think you're invincible. And dig deep. We'll be happy to see what you think in the comments. Good luck.